course scans or task lists,
Yes,
and that where they're having to come back and then describe with that unit, how correlated
Yes.
back with them.
to the student learning outcomes as well, yes. You can ask the 3-2-1 is good for that, or the sum it up. How does this unit go ahead and fulfill what we're supposed to learn?
And then my second part of it would be, have you used it as a way to tell them I'm interested in this type of end result, and let them go find the research articles to back it up?
Yep. Or not only, or I'll ask them to bring either articles that they need to bring in, or some topics that they need to, that they want to bring in as well. And of course, not everybody's going to do it. Not everyone's going to do it, but for those that do go ahead and engage in it, they'll actually go ahead and start seeing the benefit of what they're doing, to where at the end of the semester, points are not a motivator anymore because they're actually doing very well in the class. Now for the Cornell notes, I'll go ahead and go over it one time and ask them if there are the students that have had it in the Harper classes or not, and I'll go over it one more time, and I'll ask them to go ahead and take the Cornell notes. Those that know how to take the Cornell notes, then what I'll do is I'll say, if somebody else needs any assistance on it, go to these people. And then those peer mentors then, that are actually going ahead and helping them with the Cornell notes, I give them points for assisting so-and-so, but they have to show me how it worked or whether it didn't work. And then they become peer mentors as well. So that by the end of the class, I'm not going to say that it's, again, foolproof and that it works. But it does go ahead and work for about, I would say, 20% of the class, which is good because they're taking notes now. And they're understanding it, and they're knowing what needs to get done, and they're getting into the habit of taking notes. And it's not me teaching them how to do it anymore, it's their peer mentors and other students, if they want to, can go to their mentors to see how that's working. And how you make sure that it happens for the class is then to say, if you train somebody else, or if you want to train somebody else on it, and make sure that they're doing well, then I'll give you points, for either an assignment or for an exam. And I don't give a lot of points. I'm not one. And I'm not saying that I'll give them. They've earned their points. I like to use the word earn instead. Earn extra points for this chapter, or earn extra points for this. And those that are doing well don't need it, but they feel really good because they have it. They feel their safety net. Now let them say, can I have all those points for the end of the semester? Absolutely not. I don't allow them to do that. It's as we go. As we go, but they get used to doing it. And again, there's some, let's face it, that we're going to reach. Those that we're never going to reach, that we can try to reach. And those that are right in the fence that we know we can reach. And one of the things that I know that it's hard, we are always talking about how our students come. Let's face it, we know. They don't read, they don't comprehend, they don't want to read, they don't want to do any of this stuff. And I get into the same mood as well, especially around after the third week. You're like, really? I'm having to do this all over again? But I've had to catch myself to say, I'm either going to focus on their negative, or I'm going to focus on their positive. You're doing very well. Yes, you can get this. Yes, you can do it. Especially like my one student that I have, Randall, that's my only female in an entering cohort this semester. I don't want her to leave. I don't want any of you guys to leave. And they're really worried about knowing this stuff. You're doing well. Why are you so worried? You're doing fine. You're doing okay. And then showing them with their average, of course, that they are doing well. No, you can do this. See, you can do this. See, you do know this. Why are you so shy? Why are you so hesitant? You know this stuff. It's working for you. You're doing very well. Instead of saying, no, yeah, you got it, but you missed this portion. There's another way to say that. Very well. Very good. Now, what I would do to enhance it a little bit more and get better at it is just make sure that you remember this, but you're doing very well. Always focus on the positive, because too many times we focus on the negative, and that's all they hear. Remember when you were children, you hated to hear the negative, and that's the easiest thing that we can focus on. It's a completely different avenue that we're taking to focus on the positive first. Some of those students, again, we're going to be able to change. Some of them we're not. But for those that we can change with our positive language, we should. And it really came home to me when JJ said the same thing. When he went to a training, and instead of saying, you didn't get this right, or nah, that's not true, you need to work on this. Wow, that's great. even though what he was drawing was really, in his mind, not very well. I mean, they were praising stick figures. But it motivated them to do better. So positive does work. The positive does work. So if you can, just go ahead and try to keep that. And I'll just, like I said, my 2 cents, it does take some time. It does take the thought process for us to go ahead and gauge it in there. But it is something that you will eventually see your return on your investment for doing it. Because I have. And I was not a quick, a quick buy-in for Rich at all either. I was one that was I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know how this is going to work. But I really couldn't tell him, no, it's not going to work until I actually tried it. And then once it did, I thought, well, okay, then let me see if I can continue. Let's see what else I can do. What else I can engage, what else I can do. And again, not all the strategies are going to work well. It just pick one that'll work for you and work for your students. They may work one semester, they may not work another semester. It just depends. Because learning it depends. Okay? So when